Hello friends, in this second lecture of electronic spectra of transition metal complexes, today we will discuss about splitting of spectroscopic terms in octahedral and tetrahedral complexes, and we will discuss about Oracle energy diagrams. But before discussing this, we already know that 5d orbitals they split into T2G and EG set of orbital in octahedral complexes, and this behavior can be explained on the basis of crystal field theory. Similarly, in case of tetrahedral complexes, these 5d orbitals they split into two sets, but now E set is of lower energy and T2 set is of higher energy. So the splitting pattern of tetrahedral complex is reverse as that of octahedral complex. And one thing more that we have to note that in case of octahedral complexes, we use the symbol G, but in tetrahedral complexes, this symbol is not used. Why? Because this symbol G, it means Girardet. It has come from a German word for even. Now, this symbol is used only when if the system possesses a center of symmetry or it is centrosymmetric or it has center of inversion. This we have already explained in our previous lecture that octahedral complexes they are centrosymmetric because they possess center of inversion, whereas tetrahedral complexes they do not have any center of inversion. Thus, that's why we use symbol G in case of octahedral complexes, but not for tetrahedral complexes. Now, let us discuss splitting of spectroscopic terms in octahedral and tetrahedral fields, but some points you should also know that s orbital is spherically symmetric and it is not affected by the ligand fields. These orbitals they are not splitted. Similarly, p orbitals they are affected equally by from all the directions in octahedral field. They also do not split. There is a branch of chemistry called group theory. This theory has shown that in octahedral or tetrahedral complexes, the terms D, F, G, these are spectroscopic terms, H and I, they split into different terms, but the terms S and P, they do not split. You have to remember this. The splitting is like this, like I said, S orbital, it is not orbital, sorry, it is spectroscopic term. The S term, it is represented as A1G. We will see the meaning of A, what does it mean in our next slide. Similarly, P, as we have 3p orbitals, so we get T1G term. The d orbital now it splits into two sets, T2G and EG, where we use capital T and capital E. Now these S, P, D, F and G, these are terms that we already have observed, already have find from degenerate set of d orbitals. Like we considered to find the term symbols in our previous lecture. In that cases, the 5d orbitals they were considered to be degenerate. But as we know that in octahedral field, these 5d orbitals they do not remain as it is. They split into two sets T2G and EG. So a D1 ion, the ion containing one electron in d orbital, it has a term symbol of 2d. This you can easily find from our lecture on term symbols. So for D1 ion, there are two possibilities that the electron, we can write its configuration as T2G1 Eg0 or T2G0 Eg1. That means one electron, it can either go to T2G set or it can go to Eg set. Let us understand this now. These 5d orbitals in an octahedral complex, they split into two set of orbitals. Now suppose we have one electron here before splitting. Now after splitting, this electron can either go here. There is one possibility is this. So we write it T2G1 Eg0, or a second possibility is it can, this electron, it can occupy this orbital. Okay, so this is called T2G0 Eg1. But if we carefully see T2G1, now this electron, it can either go here, we can also write it here, we can also write it here. So there are three possibilities for this electron to go in T2G set. So it will give to three states. Similarly, for an electron in Eg state, there are two possibilities. Either it can go to this orbital or it can go to this orbital. So this phenomena give rise to T2G state and Eg state. And T2G state, as it has lesser energy, so we call it ground state. And Eg state, it has higher energy, so we call it excited state. These state symbols, T, capital T and capital E, these are called Mulliken symbols. These symbols, these are Mulliken symbols. How these are derived? Let us just have a look. Now we know that for a given value of L, we can have two L plus 1 components. These are ML values. Like if L is 0, ML can be only have one value. If L is 1, so there are how many components? 2 plus 1, 3. If L is 2, 2 into 2, 4, 4 plus 1 is, so there are 5 components for value of L is equal to 2. Now see, if L is 0, it has only one component. So we can say it is singly degenerate, as there is only one orbital or one component. So we call it singly degenerate, and we represent singly degenerate states by symbol A. Now let us see the case of term P. For term P, we have L is equal to 1. So as L is 1, so it can have 2 into 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 components. So these 3 components, they will be of same energy. So we call it a triply degenerate, which is represented by a symbol T. Now let us go back to our previous slide and see. So these are 3 orbitals of same energy. So we represent it by 3. Now for term D, L is equal to 2. For D, L is equal to 2. If L is 2, that means it can have 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 4 plus 1, it can have 5. 5 components, but these 5 components, they are not of same energy, because in octahedral or tetrahedral field, the terms split into two sets. One set is doubly degenerate, which we denote by symbol E, because E symbol is used to denote doubly degenerate states. And another state is triply degenerate, so we denote it by capital D. Now let us see from here. So you can see this is split into a triply degenerate state, and this is a doubly degenerate state. So that's why we have used symbol D, symbol E for doubly degenerate, and symbol T for triply degenerate term. Similarly for F, we have L is equal to 3, so we can have 3 into 2 plus 1, 6 plus 1, 7 components. So these 7 components, they are split into 2 degenerate A, which are denoted by A, and 2 triply degenerate denoted by T1 and T2. Singly degenerate state denoted by A, and two triply degenerate states denoted by T1 and T2. So three states here, three states here, six, one state here, seven. So total seven states. So we can write Mulligan symbols like for term S, as it does not split, it has only a single degenerate term, so we call it A1G. This G symbol we use for the complexes which are centrosymmetric like octahedral or square planar complexes. P term, it splits into triply degenerate states, so we have termed it T1G. D term, it splits into two sets, one doubly degenerate E, G and one triply degenerate T2G. Similarly, F, one singly degenerate T2G, one triply degenerate T1G, and another triply degenerate T2G. Similarly, the splitting of G follows like singly degenerate, doubly degenerate, triply degenerate, and again triply degenerate. So there are 3 plus 3, 6, 2, 8, 1, 9 terms. So same symbols are used in case of tetrahedral fields, but now we don't use the symbol G. Why? Because it is not a centrosymmetric complex. So the terms for octahedral molecular symbols for octahedral and tetrahedral complexes, they are same. They differ only in first thing they differ in they do not have the symbol G. Second, they differ in the energy that we will see later. Now we will discuss the electronic spectra of a D1 system. We will take the example of a titanium plus 3 complex. Now titanium plus 3 complex is a typical D1 system. It has one electron on D orbital. Now for D1 system, small s is half, capital S will also be half, and L is 2 because it is in d orbital. So it will give rise to a symbol 2d. So 2d is the symbol for a d1 system. Now in an octahedral field, as we have previously discussed, it splits into two sets, 2 T2G and 2 EG separated by energy delta OCT, crystal field splitting in octahedral complexes. So we can represent this on a diagram like this. This diagram is called Orgel diagram. So see state 2D under the influence of octahedral field, it splits into two states T2G and EG. This as the multiplicity remains the same because only those transitions are allowed in which spin multiplicity is same. So we have kept the symbol 2. It states the spin multiplicity. Now the amount of energy required to do the transition from T2G state to EG states, it will depend upon the energy difference between these two states, and the energy difference it increases with increase in crystal field splitting energy. So it depends upon the field strength of the ligands. Stronger the ligands, or we can say the ligands which have a strong field, they will split these states more. So the energy difference will be more. So we require more energy to excite electron from this state to this state. So the energy separation between these states increases with increasing the field strength. As we can see from this graph, as we increase the field strength, they are moving apart. That means energy difference between these two are increasing. So here we can easily define that a Orgel energy diagram, it tells us about the splitting of a particular term in octahedral or tetrahedral or any other geometry, and it shows the effect of field strength on splitting of the terms. Now the complex, as we mentioned that we will discuss titanium plus 3 complex. It show absorbance at 5000 angstrom. So in this complex, the transition will take place from T2G to EG, and for this transition in this complex, this much the energy corresponding to this wavelength is required, and this light corresponds to green and yellow color. So that means we require green and yellow color light to do the transition from T2G to EG in this complex hexa aqua titanium plus 3 cation. Now, as we know that the color of the complex is complementary to the color of the light that it absorbs. So, blue and red colors are emitted, they will combine and the complex will look like purple. So, this complex is of purple colored. Why? Because it absorbs light in the region of green and yellow range, which gives it a color purple shade. But the intensity of band is very weak. Can you guess why? Because the transitions are taking place between two d orbitals. These are dd transitions, and dd transitions, they are Laporte forbidden. That's why the value of epsilon is very less. So this is the absorption spectra for titanium hexaquatitanium plus 3 cation, which shows a absorbance peak at this wavelength, which corresponds to, this is wave number, around 20,000 centimeter inverse, as wave number is reciprocal of lambda wavelength. So this is the absorbance graph for hexa aqua titanium plus 3, which shows a single absorbance peak. Actually, this is, if we carefully look at it, it is a, we see a slight hump here. So it has actually two absorbances, but we consider, for now being for our class, we will consider it as a single peak. This phenomena, small shoulder in the peak, is explained on a process called Jahn-Teller distortion, which is a topic of higher classes. Now, what will happen if we change the ligand? Suppose we have replaced OH by Cl. Now, as we know that the ligand has changed, so their field, electric field, it will also change. So its splitting will change. Now, the ligands will affect the splitting between these two states, and this complex will not absorb at this wavelength. It will absorb at some other wavelength, or we can say at some other wave number. So it absorbs at around 13,000 centimeter inverse wave number, whereas in this complex TAF63 negative, it absorbs at around 18,900 centimeter inverse, and this complex with cyano complex, it absorbs at 22,300 centimeter inverse. So all these complexes, they will have different color, because the color depends on oxidation state as well as the nature of the ligand. Now we will see the D9 system in octahedral complexes. How does it behave? So the example is copper plus 2. It is a D9 system. So as we already said that D1 system and D9 system, they have same term symbol, which is explained on the basis of Hall formulation. So it has a state 2D. So 2D state, we know that in octahedral field it splits into T2G and EG terms, but now there will be a difference. We already discussed that although the splitting pattern of D1 and D9, the terms of D1 and D9 will be same, but their energy will be different. So in this case, the energy of Eg will be less and energy of T2G will be more. Like for D1 octahedral, this was the case of D1 octahedral, T2G orbital was of low, not orbital, T2G state was of lower energy and EG state was of a higher energy. Whereas in D9 system, although it splits into same two states, EG and T2G, but now the energy of EG will be less and T2G will be more because these are related to each other by whole concept. So their energy levels will be different. Although the terms will be same, but now they will have different energies. Eg will be lesser in energy in D9 octahedral case and T2G will be of higher energy. So this is the left hand side. This is the orbital energy level diagram for a D9 system. This one is the orbital energy diagram for a D1 octahedral system. So from this we can see that for a D9 ion in an octahedral field, splitting diagram is an inversion of that for the octahedral D1 ion. It is exactly same, but now it has inverted. So earlier, as we see, the case was here T2G and EG. This was for D1 system. Now the diagram is same, but now these two they have inverted. T2G has gone up and EG has gone down. So this is the orbital energy diagram for a D9 system. So this relationship we have shown it on a orbital diagram. This complete is called orbital diagram for D1 and D9 system. We have represented them on a single graph. Now we will discuss the splitting in case of tetrahedral complexes, and quickly we will remind that in tetrahedral complexes the splitting pattern is reverse as that of octahedral complexes. Here E orbitals they have lesser energy and T2 set of orbitals they have higher energy. This is explained on the basis of crystal field theory, this splitting pattern. So we will discuss again D1 and D9 system. Now D orbital split into two orbitals E of lower energy and T2 orbitals of higher energy and D1. So we can show this D1 tetrahedral field on left hand side of this graph. This is the splitting of D1 system corresponds to again 2D term. Okay. This term it will split in a tetrahedral field. Now we don't use the symbol G because it is not centrosymmetric. Like E will have lesser energy. Why? Because splitting pattern is reverse and E2 will have higher energy. Now what about D9 system? D9 system is the same as D1 now, but they are inverted. So D9 tetrahedral system is shown on the right hand side. Here T2 is of lower energy and E is of higher energy. We just have to remember that D9 system will be invert to that of D1 system in both tetrahedral and octahedral complexes. In case of tetrahedral ligand, the energy level diagram is inverse of that of octahedral field. Let us see. So this was the diagram in case of octahedral field. Here D1 octahedral system was T2G was of lower energy, EG was of higher energy. Here D1 tetrahedral is reverse of this. E is of lesser energy, T2 is of higher energy, whereas D9 octahedral was Eg of lower energy, T2G of higher energy. These two are invert of each other. D9 octahedral and D9 tetrahedral. D9 tetrahedral will be invert of D9 octahedral. T2 will be of lower energy and E will be of higher energy. So we can say that orbital energy diagram for a tetrahedral complex is inverse of that of octahedral complex. This we can easily see by comparing these two graphs. Now both tetrahedral and octahedral fields, they can represented in a single graph. So this is single graph or single representation. We will say not graph, we will use plot or a representation. This representation is called Orgel diagram, which depict variation of energy levels of spectroscopic states. These energy levels are of states, not of orbitals. We have to keep in mind of different symmetry as a function of field strength. And these are quite simple, and one limitation is that they only work for weak field or high spin cases. This is one limitation for Orgel energy diagram. So this is a convenient method of predicting number of spin allowed absorption bands. With this we can predict how many bands are allowed. Now we will quickly wind up this lecture by comparing the diagram for octahedral and tetrahedral field as we mentioned. So the points to remember, first thing is D1 system and D9 system in octahedral or tetrahedral or in any other field, they will have Orgel energy diagram invert of one another. Let us see. Now this is D1 octahedral. Here T2, for octahedral we use T2G. This T2 and ET I have written for tetrahedral because now we are showing both tetrahedral and octahedral. So I have used EG as well as E. If we have to consider only octahedral, if someone asks you to write Orgel energy diagram for D1 octahedral, then there is no need to write E and T2. Simply write T2G and EG. So D1 octahedral, T2G is of lower energy, EG of higher energy, whereas D9 octahedral is invert of this. EG of lower energy, T2G of higher energy. Similarly in tetrahedral, D1 here, D1 tetrahedral, it is E of lower energy, T2 of higher energy. But D9 tetrahedral shown here on the right hand side, T2 is of lower energy, E is of higher energy. So again D1 and D9, they are invert of one another. Second thing is octahedral OCT and tetrahedral. They will be invert of each other. Let us see. D1 octahedral, it is T2G of lower energy, EG of higher energy. D1 tetrahedral will be reverse of this. E of lower energy, T2 state of higher energy. Similarly, for you can check for D9 tetrahedral and D9 octahedral. So we can conclude that for a given geometry D1 and D9 Orgel diagrams, they will be invert of one another, and for a given system D1 or D9, D1 or D9 state, the Orgel energy diagram for D1 and D1, so it is D1 octahedral and D1 tetrahedral, they will be invert of one another. So in this lecture, we have just to understand the Orgel energy diagram, we have just considered the simple cases D1 and D9 for both octahedral as well as tetrahedral complexes. So this was all for today. I hope you have liked the lecture. So please subscribe to my channel and also share with your friends. Thank you.